And this is all like that. When my daughter makes some breadcrumbs noodle made with just breadcrumbs from 2-3 days old bread, mixed with very quick, with some Parmigiano, some eggs, and squeeze in a potato riser, you know, into the chicken broth, is Charlie's and Alexa's favorite plate. And it's made with nothing, breadcrumbs. So this is about Italian cuisine. La ingenua ingegnosità. Ecco cos'è.
I want to live in Massimo's refrigerator.
I just saw that we actually have a special guest on this webinar as well.
More?
More, yes. Can you believe it? We have Manlio Di Stefano, who is the Undersecretary of the Italian Ministry of Foreign Affairs, as well as an enthusiastic fan and user of digital content, streaming products, and social media, which I think means he watches a lot of Netflix. So, Undersecretary, are you?
I'm here, but I'm not permitted to open the camera by the host, so I don't know what's going on.
Have you tried bribery?
Maybe it's because you're the Undersecretary.
Now it works, I think. Yeah, we're here.
Yeah. Hi, thank you for being here.
There he is. Look at his suit. That's an Italian suit, people. That's. Look at that. David, look at yourself next to this guy.
I mean,
you're wonderful.
I'm gonna turn my camera off, I think. With a wine tree and a suit.
You are really wonderful. I was watching you before, and you really made my night fantastic. I mean, I had to admit, I feel comfortable because I really follow kind of every day your TV shows. In Italy, we say that you are Italian if you eat, and while you eat, you are talking about food. Now we add also the TV series dimension. So we eat talking about food and watching TV about food. And that's fantastic. So no, I really appreciate what you said up to now. When Ambassador Barricchio called me to invite me to the streaming food to this event, I was so happy. I was really happy because I think that this is one of those lucky cases where passion and work really overlap. You know, I'm very lucky because I work in Italian government to promote the Italian industries, any kind of industry, including the food industry. And in the meanwhile, I'm also really in love with Italian food, the Italian wines. And so this makes everything perfect to me. So I'm very happy to share some food of thoughts for foods. And talking about food, it's Italian food. It's, you know, somebody say that it is the best in the world. I don't know, everybody has his own taste, but I think that we probably are in the top ranking. So I'm really happy about that. And some wise man, actually it's among you, said that, you know, the best thing is traveling and get to share a meal with people that you just met. And sometimes I think about how lucky we are in Italy, since we are very used to have this kind of situation. You know, we are very used to have wonderful meals in amazing spots and talking and having really good time together. Actually, every one of us miss it in this moment, but we will come back to that wonderful time. So I only want to promote this event that Ambassador Barricchio wonderfully organized, saying that the very important thing is what Chef Bottura was telling before. We really have to get used to the fantastic ingredients. The real prosciutto, a wonderful buffalo mozzarella, sipping a fantastic Barolo wine. That's what I mean. We don't need to have too much food. We need to have good food, and that's the real difference that we have to achieve in the future. So that's my really concrete idea, and I think that what you are doing with your TV shows or the fantastic work as an ambassador of food that Chef Bottura is doing is really what we need. I mean, to promote good food, to promote quality of living and everything that is around it.
This is a very important thing. You know, he was saying, our competition is not about quantity, it's about quality. You know, this is what we are. We are so small, but, you know, in the perfect place, in the middle of Mediterranean, with such an amazing climate, such an amazing light, such an amazing wind. And it's like a dream, you know. You move from a lemon from Sorrento to the saffron from the center of Italy and going up to Tuscany and up in Emilia, and you know, it's like unbelievable. This is
I'm from Palermo. I've been living in Milan. Now I live in Rome, and my wife is from Naples. So I'm very lucky.
That's my, you know, and David and Phil knows exactly that my cuisine is inspired by, of course, Emilia Romagna, but the two regions that the more inspire me are Sicily and Piemonte. Why? Because they totally opposite one. And, you know, it's so, the products are so different, but so interesting, so intense for the soil and the sun that are unbelievable.
And all the foreign influences that we have in Sicily, the wonderful contamination that we had. So I would really say that every single spot of our country has a different tradition, and it's a really culinary heritage that you are very lucky to be the ambassador of it in the world, and we really appreciate your work. You said something really true just a few minutes before. You are not just doing money. That's the second part of your job. You are really promoting the country, and we really have to thank you for doing that, honestly. And when Ambassador Barbecue invited me for tonight, I was thinking about the role of the Chef's Table TV show, and I was thinking, I love traveling, I love having good meals, so why they just decided to ruin my life during lockdown? So, apart from jogging, you are really giving us a good opportunity to show our country to the world, and that's fantastic to me. That's really fantastic.
Thank you, Secretary.
Only in Italy do the trees grow like he has there.
Sorry? I call it the wine tree, and that's what I'm so proud, because I did by myself with my wife. So this is carved by myself, and then I put the bottles of wine over there.
We have questions from the attendees of this webinar that I have been provided for our panelists, and I will now relay them. First of all, Judith LaBelle would like to know Massimo, how should somebody best support Food for Soul?
You just have to follow our website, all our social media. We are trying to communicate every single detail. The girls at the communication are doing an amazing job. They are connecting all our refectorio from all over the world. Modena, Bologna, Naples, Milan, Paris, London, Rio, Lima, Mexico, New York. So they're gonna tell you what's going on in our refectorios and the situation about food waste. But in our, if you want to do donation, we have our website with all the numbers. If you want to volunteer, it would just check it out, because very soon we're going to open New York and San Francisco. So if you're from there, we're going to need a lot of volunteers, in these events.
Thank you.
But in another way, you just, I want to give a very easy advice to help Food for Soul, but to help everyone. Just dedicate half an hour to yourself for your shopping. Shop just seasonal, the right amount of products that you need. You keep in the refrigerator, and you dedicate to yourself sometimes to cook even a simple food, but with the seasonal ingredients. You're gonna save money, you're gonna eat better, and you're gonna help the planet, because food waste is also the first cause of climate change. So this is another advice.
That's also a great segue into a question for David, which is Chef's Table has always been a way to experience beautiful places and food around the world. But I strive to learn to become a better cook. Chef's Table is not a show for me to learn how to cook. It's a gallery. It inspires me. I'm still painting by numbers. How should I improve at home? Other than obviously the leftover show. This is
well, I think it maybe is a better question for Massimo, because our show is by design. It's not going to teach you how to cook. It's going to show you why to cook and why a chef cooks, and it gives you a window into that culture. So I think that maybe the best thing is, if you see an episode that you love, many of our chefs, including Massimo, have a cookbook, or they have some on their website, or some kind of way that you can follow up and do more research and just practice. Isn't that the only way you do it is doing it in repetition and trying to make something that you love and do it over and over again. Wouldn't you say, Massimo?
Absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Our cooking, I always say, is an act of love, but it's about 90% hard work, 10% talent. Leave the talent on the side, follow a recipe, and practice over and over and over again. Obsession is the secret of success.
And I'll add one more thing. My mom is a recipe chef. She specializes in working on recipes, and she's done the recipes. Her name's Donna Gelb. She's done the recipes for 2 of Francis Mallmann's books, and recently a book called Saladish about vegetables. And something that she always taught me, and this is such an obvious, it sounds obvious, but it's important, is just to read the entire recipe before you start. Read the recipe, measure it out, and that'll prevent any kind of crisis. So it's it surprises me how many people are struggling only because they didn't read the whole recipe before. So that's that's the tip that I know as a non-chef.
That's very important. Phil, somebody wants to know if you will please, pretty please, do another episode in Italy.
Twist my arm.
Phil, I will accompany you.
Come on.
Agreeing to do episodes in Italy is the easiest thing. The only problem is it's a fight from between the crew of who gets to shoot it, who gets to go.
David,
who gets that paid vacation to Italy.
Let's do it. David, I'm serious. We do the show. Come on.
Why don't we, I told David, 1 year ago, why don't we go to the refettorios and teach them and teach to the world in every refettorio how you cook with surplus food. Those kind of things are so important. Think about these questions. People are asking so many questions. We travel from one refettorio to another. We cook for the people in need. We're gonna do a show. We're gonna promote fighting food waste, social isolation. We're going to do so many things. Come on, tell your boss to push.
No, I mean, it sounds good. It's just the way that Phil broke it up before. He says that you guys get to go and cook and eat, and I have to make the show. And it just doesn't sound fair.
I always feed the crew. Always. You can see them in the show. They're eating. That's because they watch me when their tongues are hanging out. They look at me like this.
That's my favorite part in Massimo's Chef's Table episode. Is he throws a piece of cheese at the cameraman.
Yeah.
Broke the fourth wall right there.
Yeah. Always.
Let me say that David, Phil, on your way to Italy, let's come over here to DC. There was a piece of Italy here in Washington, DC. The name of the residence is Villa Firenze, Florence House. It's a piece of Italy here.
I cooked there.
Massimo was here, so you know that this is a lively place where we actually open a window to Italy for our friends, for our guests. So now that is a little bit more difficult to travel to Italy, let's come here. You will feel like in our great country.
And you'll have the Italian state plane fueled up to take us from there, right?
It's one of the most beautiful property I ever seen.
Wow. As soon as the pandemic is over, we go. David, I'll meet you there. Massimo, you got to fly Massimo over to cook because I don't just eat anything.
Do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. I want to come in New York. I want to see the refectory there. I need to come.
We have another question that I think, Ambassador, probably you could answer really well. And it is, what is a typical Christmas meal in Italy?
This looks easy, but actually is not. Because as Massimo was suggesting, the diversity of Italy speaks about different recipes throughout the countries. But our tradition speaks for having a light meal on Christmas Eve based on fish products, while on Christmas Day you have meat, and depending on the region, tortellini. I've not been remiss because I'm here with my great chef Roberto, who is from Mantova, a city that has a great tradition. So cappellini in brodo is something that is important to have. So you have some broth with filled pasta, and then some meat afterwards. And then you have a rich collection variety of different cakes from north to the south, and different food. So it is a long meal starting on Christmas Eve, pretending you are somewhat fasting, eating fish, and then moving towards Christmas Day with these incredible recipes, because Christmas is a family first and foremost. It is a holiday for families. So gathering around the table is so important. We look forward that the conditions are there this year to break bread and sharing food with our family and relatives. This will be the best gift that we might be receiving this year.
I was born to the wrong family.
Massimo, do you want to add anything about
it's like, I was smiling when Mr. Ambassador was like talking about cappellini, cappelletti, agnolotti, tortellini, tortellacci. Every single city has a different name. One is cooked, another the meat is raw, another one is the meat from the leftover bollito misto. The other one is with ricotta and things. So each one is a different recipe. So it's incredible. But for us in Modena are tortellini. So a mixture, the filling with prosciutto, mortadella, parmigiano, several different other meats, all mixed in the perfect combination with a few spices, and then fill lightly small squares like this, and you fill it, and the results is like a belly button, that you cook in chicken broth or with Parmigiano Reggiano sauce, as I prefer, or like la panna, like cream. We usually have the opportunity here around in the area to get the fresh cream from the milk, the cheesemakers they use to make Parmigiano Reggiano, So it's the cream of the morning that you boil, and then you cook the tortellini inside, and you add very old Parmigiano, and then you just ready to die, because that's the best meal you can get.
I'm ready now.
You're ready now.
So Phil and David, are you going to both be making tortellini in the mornings, cream on Christmas Day?
Well, for a couple of Jewish guys, I've never been so excited about Christmas. We'll just put it
I'm going to find out my obsession, which Massimo says is essential to cooking. My obsession is in finding the people who have this obsession. And I let them do what they do.
Well said.
That's a very good answer.
That's a great answer to end a webinar on Italian food and streaming on, I think, because this is a country full of food obsessives who make some of the best food in the world.
Italy wins.
Italy wins.
And if I may, quality obsessed, Tamar.
And what?
Quality obsessed.
And quality obsessed. I thought you said we're going to say and wine obsessed.
No, quality.
That too. And quality obsessed. Thank you all so much. And thank you to everybody who joined us. And thank you to the Italian Embassy. And thank you, Italy. Everybody stay safe and well fed.
Buonasera.
Buonasera.
Buonanotte.
Buonanotte.
Tutti.
Ciao, good night.
Ciao, ragazzi.
Prossima.
Ciao.
Ciao. Ciao.
Bye.